77% of executives say entry-level jobs will be moderately to extremely affected by AI. When you talk about entry-level jobs, you're thinking about the people who just graduated. Mostly you get into a company, you're working at doing like repetitive tasks, and that is going to help you learn the tricks of the trade, know what happens in the company. Those are the entry-level jobs that you get. Those are the jobs that help you get work experience. But if 77% of executives say that those jobs are going to be gone, we have a problem, ladies and gentlemen. We have a problem. And then let's look at the next one. We have 46% of a drop in entry-level jobs in the UK. That is actually a signal of something happening globally. Now this is indicating just in the UK, but that is going to be happening globally. And let's look here. We have 43% of recent graduates. They feel that their degree is already outdated, and that is because of AI. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going through strange times, and we all have to buckle up for the strange times that we are going to. And what is happening, just as I was explaining, there is this whole charter. This is the ladder, right? Think about it as you get into a job, you want to make your way to the top. How do you make your way to the top? You have to start from below and gradually walk your way to the top. And how do you walk your way to the top? You start doing those mundane tasks when you just get into a company. For example, in a place like Japan, they have this job for life, that way you just go in as someone who has just gotten out of school. What you're doing is you're serving tea, you're saying yes sir, yes ma'am. They ask you to do this repetitive task, mundane task, you're doing it, and gradually as you get some experience, you walk your way to the top. But guess what? This is how the ladder is looking right now. AI is taking all of those things away. Like this whole chunk, it's gone. That means that what are we going to be doing in order to make sure that we survive this AI era? Let's talk about it. We're going to talk about the skills that we all have to be learning. We're going to be talking about how you should think about education if you're already in school or if you are out of school, because upskilling and the skills that you need to learn is extremely important. And this is the thing. This just think about someone that is in school now, someone that has already graduated. If you have already graduated, you're in a way bigger problem, because it's not like you can go back to school. And of course you can always go back to school, but the idea is that you just graduated and then you have this whole degree. You're looking at it that this degree is really useless, and that is why they are talking about it's a confidence crisis, and people are choosing not to apply at all because the chances that they are going to get that job is extremely low. Why? Because all of those jobs are now being replaced by AI. Let's look at this here. The danger isn't the robot replacing you. The danger is the person who is using the robot replacing you. What is that telling us? That is telling us that yes, AI is here, robots are here, they are doing like mundane automated tasks. What that is telling you is if you are not learning how this robot works, then you have a problem. You are going to be kicked out of your job if you're not learning how this robot works. The person who is using the robot is the person that is going to replace you. So they are not saying that the robot is going to come and kick you out, but are you learning how this robot works? So here we are going to talk about the things that you should be knowing about how this robot works and the skills that you need to develop in order to work with this robot, such that you do not get kicked out of your job. And it is here, you guys. It is really here. I'm reading the news about AI every day, and I'm like, oh my god, nothing has ever scared me like this much in my life. Because right now I'm working in a startup, building a startup, and just the speed at which AI is developing, I'm like, oh my goodness, maybe this startup is going to be out, or like it's going to be useless in a very few short years. So this is scary for everybody, you guys. So let's think about the skills that you are going to need. Number one, critical thinking, the professional BS detector. What is going on in this thing is that most of the times AI hallucinates a lot, especially based on how it was trained, the data that was put in, how clean was the data, how good was the data. AI will hallucinate a lot. So you as an individual, you have to think about how do you give this AI information. Prompt engineering, what prompt should you give it, and now how good is that prompt, and then how should it work? Can you detect what the information that you get out, that information, is it good information that AI is giving you? Is it wrong information? Can you detect good things that the AI gives you? And that is why it says here, your role, you move from being a drafter to a verifier. The AI generates the brief, you do the due diligence. Yes, because you're looking at it and thinking about, okay, the AI has given me this information. Is this good information? How should I verify if this information is true? So you have to go back and forth with the AI. That is why it's talking about critical thinking. You do not just accept any information that it gives you. And if you look at all of these modules, they'll tell you that ChatGPT makes mistakes, Claude makes mistakes, Notebook LM makes mistakes. What they are telling you is that you have to be doing these critical thinking skills in order to verify the information that you get. Now let us move on to the next one, creative invention. What is going on here is that AI is going to do research for you. That is why basic researchers, or probably you are going to be kicked out of a job. But at the same time, how can you take this in? It's a ton of information. So you have to be able to sit and look at all of this information and be like, where is the gap? Where is a gap in all of, okay, I see you, I see you, I see you, I see you. But where is the gap in all of these things? How can we solve this problem with one information from here, one information from there? And that's why it says creative invention. The basic task of getting the information, organizing the information, AI is going to do that for you. But how can you now sit and look through all of this information and be like, okay, this is making sense, this is not making sense, one thing is missing, some other thing is, you should be able to get to that point. And now let us go to the next skill that you need. Prompt engineering goes back to that BS detector that we were talking about earlier. Prompt engineering, what it is doing is, you remember how when like the internet came up and everyone was learning, there was like garbage in, garbage out. This is the same kind of a thing. What information do you input into the LM or into the machine, whatever you're using, ChatGPT, Cloud, whatever? What information do you put inside of it? What are you putting? How good is your prompt? Are you learning? Do you know the basics of prompt engineering? That is why the skill here is prompt engineering, the master of intention. How are you structuring what you're putting in? Because if it is garbage in, it's going to be garbage out. So as you can see here, human input, AI output. So for it to be able to give you something beautiful, you need to be careful about the information that you put in it. Your value here, the competency, learning prompt engineering is about becoming excellent at clear communication, hypothesis testing, and setting boundaries for AI. This is like, it says you're no longer paid to do the task. You are paid to define it. That is why it's crazy that in all of this, AI is here. Oh Lord, we all are going to lose our jobs. Oh my goodness, AI is going to kick us all out. And then you're like, okay, so what skills matter? And they tell you it is communication skills. And you're like, what? I had to just learn how to communicate, like really? But of course it is that idea of how do you communicate with a machine. It's not just about learning how to communicate. How do you communicate with a machine? How is that machine structured to think? If you're not able to learn and know how this machine thinks, how this machine has been trained, you will not be able to communicate with the machine. That is why learning prompt engineering is extremely important. So that is why skill number 3 is prompt engineering. You have to learn it, I have to learn it, we don't have a choice. The next skill that we all have to learn is empathy and connection. This is, sometimes I read through these things and I'm like, what? Empathy and connection, really? That is what we have to learn. Anywho, the reason why this is like one of the skills that you have to learn is, really you have to learn. It says here, AI is logical, you are soulful. So you can calculate the risk, the value of presence in a world that is saturated with digital interfaces, modern technology, durable skills. For example, I'll show you all a picture here. The idea is that we will have to do more of something like this. These in-person meetups. This is me actually at a meeting with an investor, telling the investor about our business, what we do. This human connection is what AI cannot do. So let AI do all of the tasks while you focus on building these relationships. You have to learn how to talk to people, learn how to build relationships, learn how to get good at people, because AI is not going to replace all of these things. So what are you supposed to do? You are supposed to learn how to build relationships with people. Let the AI do the work. When are you supposed to let AI do the work, and when are you supposed to spend all your time building relationships with people? That is extremely important. And then the other skill that we all have to learn is cross-domain thinking. Listen, you guys, when I looked at this and I was like, oh, this is very interesting, because here you have marketing, engineering, finance, logistics. And then how can you be able to pull some knowledge from marketing, pull some knowledge from engineering, pull some knowledge from finances, and then see the connections in all of this? And I'm like, this is so difficult. And I was like, this is so difficult, because how am I supposed to know what are the things that are going on in marketing or in engineering, in finance? But the idea is you let the AI do the research. You let the AI do the research. You do not have to be an extreme expert, but you should have ideas about these things. And when you're able to have these ideas about all of these things, you can start drawing connections between, oh, A is here, B is here, oh, there is something that we can connect these two things. It even goes back to the concept we were talking about, having that creative tendencies to look at something and be like, okay, this is this. Okay, but one thing is missing. Something is the same thing. You're able to think through different fields of study. And okay, we can pull from here, pull from here, pull from there. But what is missing? That is the cross-domain thinking that you are seeing here. Your resume is obsolete. This is very true. Now it's going to be about show your work. What can you do? And how do you get there? We have our roadmap on how to start building your AI edge today. Number one, take short online courses. Oh my goodness. I do videos here showing you all those short courses that you can take from Google, edX, Google, Coursera, all of those things. You have to be taking those courses because those certificates, those badges that you're getting, that is how an employer is going to know that, oh, you have learned a thing or two about AI. Experiment daily. If you're not using AI in your daily living, we have a problem. You have to skill up, you guys. You have to skill up. And when you look at jobs, do not look at job titles anymore. Look at the tasks that you have to do on the job. Then you can start asking yourself, do I know how to do this task? Do I know how to do this task? Build your digital brand. This is what I'm talking about. Building in public. Show your skills. Do projects. Put it out there. I think science students are not going to be very sort of bamboozled by this because the way they do it, you always have anyone that is doing like UX UI engineer, US UI designers, graphic designers. The one they always send you, this is my portfolio, this is what I can do, this is what I have done before. But now social sciences students, we will have to get comfortable with building portfolios and showing our work. Network with purpose, you guys. That individual human to human connection, it is not going away anytime soon. Okay, it's not going away anytime soon. You will have to learn how to talk to people as much as possible. So let's look at the AI ecosystem. So here we have OpenAI, Google, Anthropic, Meta, Microsoft, Perplexity, DeepSeek. These are the ones that are in the space that you have to be paying attention to what they are coming up with, because what they are coming up with is practically setting the standards of the skills that you should be learning. When OpenAI has now gotten to 5.2. When they come up with those things, go ahead and test it out. How does it work? Can you build a project around it? Same thing when Google comes up with something, you have to keep up with what is going on, you guys. I think this does not mention the skill, but one of the highest skills that will probably take you and have us all survive in this AI era is that, number one, we have to keep up with the AI news to see what is happening, where it's going, how much we can learn, and also lifelong learning. You guys, the days that we could like go to school, graduate from school, get out and be like, oh, we are now ready to get into the workforce. Deuces, I worked my ass when I was in school. I worked so hard when I was in school. Now I'm out of school. I don't have to study again. Those days are behind us. Those days are behind us, you guys. In this day and age, you have to go to work in the morning, 15 minutes in between, you take some course, and then during lunchtime, you take some course, you go back to work. On your way home, you sit there, and then you take some course for the next 15 minutes. That is how life is going to be happening moving forward, you guys. Every day, you have to be learning. And so you have to learn how to learn, and how to learn as quick as possible, and how to put what you have learned into projects so that you can show that you can do those things. Those are really the skills that we have to learn right now. I hope that this was helpful. You're able to like this video, subscribe to my Substack newsletter, because that is what I'm trying to accomplish there. I'm trying to have us all do exercises so that we can show our work as much as possible. Get into all of those courses, get all of those certificates, because that is how we can show the things that we can do. And let me know in the comment section, are you learning AI? How is it going for you? Are these skills valuable for you? Are you learning these skills? Let me know. How is it going? I'm going to see you all in the next one. Peace.